we're back. We currently have at least over 21 sprint pole on 3 and P2. P3. Yeah, no one is currently on the lap. Ref cuts currently on provisional right now. We've got Aku on the front lap, I believe, putting through the start of sector 3 nearly late brakes down around the DRS across the line. Is he going to be yes by 3 times? Not enough to be so less than a 10 separates the top two. He's going to go higher because Blackie has to lose some easy for him. Easy explains maybe down his belief 121. He's on his lap just letting he's flying out. He's got purple sector 2 there. So he's really starting to push the boundaries here, heading into the right hand of the story. I think he's really cuts the entry point. Now into the second half of the right hander. He hooks up pretty nicely now into the later breaks. Now into the second place of the final corner now. Getting on the pound nicely now. We are wide open. And across the line it's going to be a 21.3. I'll use him up into P5. For this race, with 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, he won't be able to go back to the pits and all the way back down for another race. So he will have to go and then do another flying lap on them if he wants to try it. It's just overtaken. I don't think anyone else so he will be 1/10 up in sector 1. That will probably be AP7, and he runs wide the corner and he decides to back off. So, 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this qualifying session. We've got Rev Caterpillar on pole position. FRT Evan P5 MX so Michael in P8 followed by P9 in P10 Surfy DNF in P11 Edgar's in P12 Battle from Penguin in P13 and Amos Fairley in P14. His medium run was still just inside to work out for him. Yeah, as a recent start flying heading into turn apex slightly, but takes a turn to apex really nicely, rolling over now. He's decided to back off. We will have time to go round to get another. Yeah, she's now we've got Scooby here. He's 300 pounds for his lap. Is he able to improve going through the multiple corner? 121.5. And it moves him up to 28. Still, it's probably not the position typical F1 now. He's starting his hot lap. So we need to see track of where he's lap of 3 at least. Yeah, everyone is starting to see to start their hot laps now. Next person to cross the line on a flying lap will most likely be typical F1, so we're going to go on board with him. We expect him to spend one time top on his lap time as well. This is the time he used to find top 5. Zamco takes provisional pole position on a 120.7 typical F1 heading around the final corner. Is it going to be enough to take pole? Not just. He does go top 5 on a 21.2. That sends him into the top 5. But is it going to be enough to hold him in the top 5? Yes, that isn't going to be able to finish his qualifying session. Wacky has invalidated his lap time. He won't be improving. He improved by a 10th, and that would have put him in P2, but the invalidation has messed him up there. Both McLarens invalidating with the least as well. Not being able to finish his lap. As he explains, he is 2 tenths down. As he explains the line, he is not in Edgar's is going to head around the final corner. He's not able to. He hasn't validated. He is weaving. Seb is still trying to get that slipstream. Seb doesn't manage to improve. And that seems to be the starting grid for the race. Sam Cole in pole position. Mackie in P3. P5, Evan P6. 7 P6. Rounds out the top 10. Yeah, outside of the top 10 we have Surfy with strategic pole position, FLT Edgars in P12, Bad of One Opinion in P13, and AMS Fairley in P14 for the race start. And yeah, so we should be in for a pretty exciting race. And I'll rejoin you guys soon. I'll be back in a second. So we are back for the race. I'm sorry if my mic volume is a bit low. There's nothing much I can do about that right now. I'll try and speak up and I'll put my mic a bit closer if that's better. Yeah. Oh, it just checks the audio. here we are. We've got the predicted tire strategy. It is predicted for soft hard. I wouldn't be surprised if people are brave enough to try the soft medium strategy. Might be a bit of a stretch for some drivers, but they will be willing to do it considering the rewards it will have having the fresher tire. Well, not the fresher tires, but softer tires for the majority of the Grand Prix. So definitely won't be out of some people's books to try and try that strategy. Looking outside the top 10, both Surfy and Edgar's, the two Williams drivers have opted to go for the medium tires. They're actually not both Williams, they are actually. No, they're both Alpines. My bad about that. They've both opted for the medium tires, so yeah, that should be a strategy that could work well for them. Bad F1 Opinion and AMS Valley both aren't in the lobby, so yeah, they can't really choose their tires, but yeah, it's going to be pretty much 12 people driving here in Tier 1, but yeah, anyway, so Sam Cole is on pole position with the Rev Caterpillar back in P2, FRA Placky in P3, both alongside his McLaren teammate FRA Elisen in P4, Typical F1 in P5, Evan in P6, MX7 in P7, 2D in P8, PSR Mac in P9, AZX Flames rounds out the top 10 on the soft compound tires, and then followed by the two Alpine, Surfy and Edgar's in P11 and P12. So yeah, I'll speak a bit louder. I can't really do much about it because I'm not used to this way of streaming, I can't lie. Because I usually stream from my PC but my Xbox. So anyways, yeah, so as Sam Cole lines up on the grid for the start of the race, and okay, thank you for telling me. Yeah, so we're just waiting for the final few drivers to line up in their grid spots. Bad F1 Opinions and AMS Fairly lining up in P14, the two AI drivers. Now here we are on the grid. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here in Australia for round 1 of ICR, and it's lights out and away we go. It seems to be a pretty decent start for Sam Cole, but FRA Placky is off to a fly. He's already up into P1 and he's past Sam Cole heading down into turn 1. FRA Placky takes the lead. Rev Caterpillar down in P3 now, and someone has lost a lot of positions. I think that's FRT Surfy. He's all the way down in P14. He's had a spin at turn 2. FRA Placky leads from Sam Cole and Rev Caterpillar now as they go through the first sector. FRA Elisen stays in P4. MX Seb is up into P5. FRT Evan stays in P6. Typical F1 has dropped off slightly, and he's not making too many inroads on Evan up in front. Now Mac might be able to capitalize here as he's gaining and gaining and gaining, but he's not going to be able to go for a move. This isn't really a an overtaken zone going into them. Yeah, anyways, here we are. We've got Mac heading through the fast chicane now, rolling over both curbs nicely. He's going to burn his ERS now, heading into the double right-hander of Ascari. He's not going to be close enough to send it just yet. AZX Flames now seems to be making a move on FRT Edgar's, and they're going to go side by side going into the right-hander. Edgar seems to get the better of that battle. But yeah, going back onto PSR Mac, he's made a move on typical F1 from P9 on the grid. He seems to be making up positions quite rapidly and seems to have a pretty good chance to do something good with considering where he started in this race. Now FRA Placky building some sort of a gap. 5 tenths separates him and Sam Cole. Yeah, so FRT Surfy gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pits, and that's a spin for Rev Caterpillar, and he spun round at the flat right-hander, and that is going to be pretty costly for his Grand Prix. Has he sustained any damage from that? I don't think so. But yeah, he's all the way down into P12. So yeah, that is going to be quite a tough recovery for him there. Typical F1 battling with MX Seb right now. We're going to move on to this battle though. We're going to see PSR Mac go to the inside of FRT Evan, heading through the flat out straight, and he gets the move done heading through the fast chicane as well. So he's now up into P4, chasing down FRA Leeson all the way from P9. So he's off to a pretty good start so far. Nothing much happening early race. We've got Tudi catching up onto the back of typical F1 and MX7. Is Tudi going to go for a move? Yes, he's going to go to the inside on him. He's got the move done. Is he going to be able to hold around the outside? He doesn't have to. He's got the move done. And MX7 is pitting already. I'm not sure if he has wind damage or anything. Leeson seems to be struggling slightly as he's lost 2.5 seconds to Sam Cole. And PSR Mac is gaining rapidly. He's going to be able to get a move done almost in quite shortly, but he's really closing in, heading down into turn 3, and now turn 4 is he's really starting to close in. 510 separates them now, and Mac is off to a flyer of a start considering he started P9. Rev Caterpillar makes the move on MX7 as he comes out of the pits. Seems to be struggling a bit coming out of the pit lane on the hard compound tires. FRT Edgars gets a 3-second time penalty in P9. Not going to be helpful for him. Placky still leads 7/10, separates him and Sam Cole. They're both on pretty similar ERS levels, but Placky has still got the high percentage. Cole is now going to be using his DRS to try and close in. He's not going to be gaining enough to go for any moves just in the near future. MX7 already has a 3-second time penalty. People are really struggling with track limits early stage in this Grand Prix. Typical. It's starting to close in on the back of 2D, and he's had a huge oversteer moment, and he's gone deep, and he's crashed into the wall. He's not sustained terminal damage from that, luckily, but I'm not going to be surprised if he has any rear end car damage on his rear wing. That is a pretty hefty shunt as well, so that's not going to be helpful for his race. FRT Evan now mounting the curbs here, trying to catch up onto this battle, and now PSR Mac, he's going to start trying to set up a move on FRA Leeson. Is he going to be close enough into turn 3? Not just yet. He's really starting to close in, and he's not close enough on that occasion, but it may not take him that long to get the move done. Edgars is really struggling on those medium tires. Fairly's AI is starting to catch up to him, getting close to making a move. Going back on board with PSR Mac. The gap between them is just 3.5 tenths. He's really starting to close in here and try and make some inroads. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. That's typical F1, who's had a bit of a moment at the exit of turn 3. So he's dropped down all the way to P11. Going back on board with PSR Mac. He's got the slipstream. He's got the DRS enabled. Is he going to be close enough heading into Ascari? No, he's not. Obviously, Surfy gets a 3-second time penalty. And is that Tudi having a spin? Yes, he has at the exit of the fast chicane. He's had a spin. He's down to P9, and his rears must be burning considering how high speed that chicane is. He will be taking the next few corners pretty cautiously. So yeah, I need to invite Fairly. Okay, so we're back with this battling. Sadly, we missed this move between PSR Mac and Leeson. So Mac is now up into P3, and he's starting to pull away slightly. You can see he's just got way better pace than the drivers around him, but he is burning his ERS though, so that could play crucial in this strategy battle that may play out if T Surfy gets past Flames as he is in the pits, serving a time penalty or something, that seems. But yeah, now down the pit lane, very slow pit lane, one of the slow speed pit lanes on the calendar at 37 miles an hour, which is 60 kilometers an hour, I believe. And those are the leaders starting to catch up to him. He's nearly going to get lapped here, only on lap 5 of this race. FT Edgars gets another 3-second time penalty. He's really struggling with track limits right now. As it seems, Sam Cole is now going to start closing in on FRA Placky. He's not going to burn any of his ERS. They're both going to be pretty patient with it. And now heading into turn 3, he's going to make inroads, but he's not going to be close enough for a move. He's had a little look at it, and that's going to be a spin. I think that's for Surfy in the middle sector on those hard compound tires. That is unfortunate for him. Now going back onto this lead battle, Sam Cole is really close to FRA Placky now. He just doesn't seem to have the opportunity to just go for the move that he needs. And Elison as well. Elison's really starting to close in on the back of Matt. Could we see a send here heading down into turn? I'm not sure what turn that is actually. I think that's turn 9 or something, or turn 10. But anyways, he's starting to close in now, heading into the fast chicane at the end of sector 2. It's going to be 310 separating them, so he's not going to be close enough to go for a move heading down into the double right hander. He's going to have the DRS enabled. He's not going to be close enough heading down the straight. FLT Surfy has had another spin on the exit, so that is really unfortunate for him. Now Evan, he's starting to catch up onto the back of Elison, and back has gone wide at the exit of the penultimate corner. This is going to set up a move for Elison on the home straight. Now he's got the DRS enabled. He's using his ERS. He's burning the ERS heading down into turn 1. You can see that Max low on ERS. He's going to go to the inside, and he's up into the podium position. Elison is up into P3. His teammates in P1. So this is going to be a double podium for McLaren. Mac is still going to try and stay with him, but he's not got the ERS to fight him with, and that's a problem with him burning his ERS early. He's now going to have struggles getting back past him, and that is going to be quite unfortunate for his for the events of his race. Fairly's AI now is still close onto the back of Edgar's. But anyways, as AZX Flame seems to have made a move on Surfy. Surfy just seems to be struggling right now on those hard compound tires. He doesn't have a front wing, I don't think. No, he doesn't have a front left end plate, I believe it is. And they are going to be lapped pretty soon, so they need to watch out for that. Sam Cole is nearly losing DRS range to Placky, our race leader. He's really starting to lose out, and Placky seems to be putting the pedal to the metal, burning a bit of that ERS. 3-second time penalty for TD4210 in P9. As we've got Fairly's AI making a move on Edgar's now. We've got Mac. He's starting to close in on Elison. Elison has decided to pit. FLT Surfy has got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So now Mac, he's up into P3, and now Evan's starting to chase him. But where's Elison going to come out? This is a pretty interesting strategy. Seems like he's going for a 2-stop. I don't think a 1-stop could work on the mediums from here on in. So it is going to be a bit of a stretch for him on these tires. FT Edgars gets a 3-second time penalty as 2 DNFs in the pits, I believe, and we're down to 12 drivers, technically 11 if think about it. I think Bad F1 Opinion is in the lobby, isn't he? No, he's not. I don't. Is he? Yeah, he probably is. He's just ghosted for some reason, I don't know. Yeah, easy as flames. He might have a bit of wing damage, I don't know. He just doesn't seem to have much grip on him right now, as I think that's a mistake from Edgars, and he's lost his front wing in sector 2. He's now down to P9. He's lost multiple positions. That's really unfortunate for him, and the chances of a safety car are looking pretty low for him at this rate, considering with the lobby size. So he is gonna have to pull off a mad comeback to try and salvage a lot of points this race, and that's going to be unfortunate for him. We've got Evan now closing in on Mac, and Mac gets a 3-second time penalty, so that's going to now draw Elison closer in this battle, as he's now going to have to keep in the back of his mind that Mac has a 3-second time penalty. He is in the driving force of this race and how it goes. They made a bit of contact into the turn 3, and Evan Edgars has run wide. And again, not a good race for him so far. Evan is starting to close in onto the back of Mac, and they've been pretty close for pretty much all race. So he's going to be looking to try and get this move done soon. But he does have the ERS advantage, and by quite some mile. Typical F1 gets past Edgars as he pits for a new front wing. You can see how dirty his rear wing is from that shot. But now going back onto Evans' point of view, he has a bit of oversteer, sliding on the exit. MX Seb has made a mistake. He's got a 3-second time penalty and DNF. Is that going to be a safety car? It's just a yellow flag so far. But and it is a safety car. It's a full course safety car. So Elison is in the mud basically, and he is really messed up. Placky has timed this perfectly and is in. So is Sam Cole. PSL Mac is going to come in. Evan is going to come in. Bad F1 Opinion's going to come in. I believe he's actually going to stay out. Opinion is going to try and stay out. He's on the medium tires though, so he can afford to try and risk this strategy. MS Fairley is going to pit here. FRA Elison now heading around the final corner. Is he going to pit? He's going to stay out obviously on these new tires. Rev Caterpillar is going to come into the pits. Typical F1 isn't close enough yet, but that is pretty unfortunate for Elison. Elison tried the undercut and he's been messed up by MX Seb, unfortunately there. Elison has been hard done by with the strategy. It's like he put it only a couple of laps ago, to be fair. So that's unfortunate for him. But at least the field is now bunched up, so he will have an opportunity to try and battle back out on track again. The strategy is now pretty much all even amongst everyone. Everyone has an equal opportunity again in this Grand Prix. Whether they've lost out strategically or not, they will have a chance to fight in this race. Bad F1 Opinion will lead the Grand Prix, but he is going to box now. He's going to box now. I don't understand why he didn't do it last lap. I know he was probably trying to avoid a double stack, but I think they have patched that and it's now a bit slower. Like he only is like 0.6 or something. I don't know. As he bolts on a set of hard compound tires to the end of the Grand Prix. So well, his AI does. So I actually, if that was his AI, then he must have not wanted that. So okay. I'm not sure what's just happening. What's going on? And yeah, he's disqualified. This is a pretty interesting season opener. But anyways. As AZX Flames, no, not AZX Flames. Actually, he is in the way of PSL Matt, to be fair. So there's two ways they can go about this. I think he's actually gonna cause a bit of trouble for Mac here, because Mac isn't gonna. Yeah, Mac isn't going to have an opportunity to go through the move straight away. He has got an AI to get past, and obviously the fact that lap cars overtaking under safety car to unlap themselves, that hasn't been implemented yet into the game system. So yeah, therefore meaning that he is going to cause a bit of problems for these drivers. Thank you for 14 viewers, by the way, in this pretty eventful season opener so far. But the safety car's been out for quite a while. I'm surprised it hasn't been called in yet. It seems we are going to be under safety car conditions for one more lap. So it has been 3 laps or something, I think. But yeah, yeah. So still waiting for to go on the racing. So yeah, the safety car isn't coming in just yet. Rev Caterpillar and fairly seems to have swapped positions. And it's now typical, nearly close to swapping positions with them as well. And the safety car seems to be staying out one more lap. I'm not sure what this game is crazy. I swear, this is not like this. Okay, how is this happening? Like how is this genuinely happening? The safety car just doesn't seem to come in, literally. But yeah, we're on lap 14. Uh, around 6 laps into the safety car period, and it's still not come in. So yeah, I guess from what I've seen so far, if it doesn't come in shortly, then yeah, we will be awarded half points for this race weekend. But yeah, well, I think we should give it a few more laps, and if it doesn't, we should just give up on it. This Cody's have been a bit sus this year. So yeah, it's just the way it is right now, and it seems like it is gonna stay out for another lap. The whole grid is bunched. Um, One thing I can suggest is Sam calling Plucky, if you can hear me. Try running off the track and allow Flames to unlap himself, and then allow him to try and catch up to the back of the field, and maybe see if that might allow him to catch back up. That's the only thing I can think of right now that might make it come in. So I think Flames has managed to get to the front of the queue. Now it's a case of whether he can unlap himself with a safety car. So yeah, now he's past the safety car. Oh, he has to give it back, and he has been disqualified. There was no harm in trying that, I think. But that's unfortunate. If the safety car stays out for another lap, it's just definitely a glitch in the system. We're level on the amounts of laps completed under race conditions, and laps under safety car. So yeah, what seemed to be a pretty dismal season opener might come to an end shortly. Technical issues at the start, and obviously this is very unfortunate. Safety car has to come in this lap, man, I swear. And it's staying out another lap. So it stays out another lap, another 100. We shall. Oh my god. And yeah, they've decided to crash each other out. So yeah, I think that's it for the race essentially. Um so yeah, safety car now comes in this lap, bruh. Yeah, I think we are going to restart with a 25% race. The safety car is coming in, and that is just complete. Sorry for the delays right now. We've spent more time sorting the stream out. Well, sorting the entire race out. This game has just been beautiful this year. sorry for all the delays, everyone, to this race. We are back. Yeah, for the continuation of the Australian Grand Prix. It's gonna be a 15 lap sort of sprint, if you want to call it that, to decide the finishing order of this race. We will be starting on 9 drivers, I think. Not sure if we have any more, but yeah, wait for the start of the race. So yeah, formation lap is off, I believe. We should jump right into the action of the race. So everyone will have the same tire temperatures. So yeah, we just, as I said, we're just waiting to load in. So here we are for the race. We've got 3, 4, 5 red lights here in Australia, and it's lights out and away we go. Placky gets off to a decent start, so does Sam Cole. He's going to try and go side by side with him, heading down into turn 1. Placky opting for the medium tires, Sam Cole going for the softs. He's not able to get the move done. Down into turn 1, the 2 Aston Martins going side by side, battling for P4 right now. PSR Mac is going to try and go around the outside of his teammate Rev Caterpillar, heading down into turn 3. He's gone slightly deep. That's going to allow Elison to go to the inside. He's not going to have the space to do so. Blackie has lost the position to Sam Cole. Sam Cole is now up into P1. So now he needs to pull away as much as possible to try and pull away early stage. He's the only driver on starting on the soft tires for the restart of this race, so he is gonna have to do all of what he needs to do now and not later on in the race. Now we can see Rev Caterpillar really starting to game on FRT Evan here. This is for a podium position. Now is he going to go to the inside or outside? He's going to try and go to the inside, but he's not close enough, heading it down into Ascari. He holds on to P4 right now. It's currently Sam Cole, then Placky, then Evan, then Rev Caterpillar, then PSR Mac, Elise in P6, P7 by typical, taken by typical, AZS Flames in P8, and Edgar's in P9. So yeah, Sam Cole starting to pull away. 1.3 seconds separates him and Placky. Placky is really tried to keep up with him on this first lap, and Sam Cole has really tried to pull away. You can see how much Evan is closing in on FRA Placky. Placky's really burning his ERS, trying to stay in front, and Evan's going to play the long game. He's going to try and think smarter to try and get past Placky in this race. It's not going to be a race based off of strategy, considering how long is left, and Rev Caterpillar has spun and he has made contact with his teammate as well. He's in the wall, and lost his front wing. That is essentially his race over. There's no safety car. They did disable the safety car. Evan has made some sort of mistake as PSL Mac is now up into P3. But yeah, going on board of them, his tyres do have a bit of gravel on them. Is Typical going to be able to capitalize on this? He's going to try and go for the move for P4. He's not going to go for it. Heading into the fast left-right chicane. But now, is he going to be close enough to gain on him? And that's a huge crash for PSL Mac. On the exit of that chicane, he's now out of this race. Now down into P8. We're down to 7 runners in the season. But yeah, this is top 3 are pretty evenly spaced out. 2.7 seconds separates Sam Cole and FRA Placky. 2.6 seconds separates Evan and Placky in this race. Sam Cole sets a fastest lap, 123.4 on those soft compound tires. Typical F1 is really starting to gain on Evan, heading down into turn 1. He's not going to be close enough to get the move done though, but he is going to have DRS for the next straight, I believe. No, he's not. He's going to have to wait one actually for the straight in the middle sector to get his first helping of the DRS, and then he'll have another shot on the next lap to try and get the move done. So we've got Sam Cole. He's pulled away 3 seconds at the front of this race. He's really pushing on those soft compound tires. He needs to get his work done now whilst he can on the fresher softer tires. He needs to push as hard as he possibly can and use his tires while he can maximize them, as the drivers behind him will be using the softs to their advantage whilst he is on older hards, medium, sorry. But Typical F1 closing in on FRT Evan now, going through the left-right chicane. There's not going to be enough space for him to go to the move there. He has to back out of it slightly. Now Leeson is going to be trying to gain on Typical F1, heading down into Ascari. Typical F1's going to go to the inside of FRT Evan. Evan's got the switchback though. He's going to switch it back. Evan stays on to holds on to P3, and Typical F1 down into P4. And this is pretty good racing considering what we've had so far. It's yeah, first lap of the Grand Prix for Sam Cole again. Really starting to push. You can see how much he's putting into his lap times at this stage of the race. Typical now, is he going to fight back and try and go for the move for P3 once again? Now he's got the DRS wide open. He's not going to be close enough. He's going to be gaining, heading down into turn 3. He's not going to be close enough to send one to the inside or outside. Elisa now in P5, still trying to make inroads on this battles. Same with Flames and Edgar's down in P6 and 7. 4.2 seconds separates Sam Cole and FRA Placky. Placky's starting to lose touching distance with Sam Cole. 3-second time penalty for FRT Evan. That's going to be pretty crucial in this race. And obviously with the penalties all being reset, considering this is 25%, this is going to play a huge part into some people that had a penalty beforehand, but will have dropped that penalty and now won't have it as a disadvantage. Evan now really close to going under 10% ERS, and now Typical F1 can see Evan is struggling. He's going to go to the inside, heading into Ascari. He's got the move done. Is he going to go deep though? Evan is going to try the switchback. He's got the grip to do so. Is he close enough though? He's going to back out of the move and hold on to P4, but is Elisa going to try and send it? No, he's not. He's going to buy his time nicely and wait for his opportunity to overtake both Aston Martins out of the second chance opportunity in this Grand Prix. Now Evan is going to be trying to gain as much as possible here on this first DRS straight. And now neither of them have too much ERS to fight with, but he's gone wide slightly. Elisa now, he's going to be burning his ERS. Evan's not got much ERS to fight with here, and now Elisa can send it to the inside, and he's going to do exactly that. Heading into turn 3, he goes slightly deep, almost making contact with Typical F1 there. He's got the move done though. He's forced Evan slightly wide to do it, but he's surely made the move stick. He's up into P4, but in that he's lost DRS range to Typical F1. Typical F1 looking very comfortable now in P3 position. If he can hold on to this 1.2 second gap for the next DRS straight, he might have done all he needs to do to get onto the podium. But Elisa is really starting to close in here. You can see he's not going to give up in this race, and he has the ERS advantage, so he's going to be burning all the way through sector 2 to try and close in on the Ferrari driver, and he's done exactly that. He's got the DRS for the straight. Evan is starting to struggle a bit, losing a bit of time to Elisa, and Flames close behind, same with Edgar's. And Sam Cole still leads the way, 5.5 seconds clear of FRA Placky, and 5.6, nearly 11, over 11 seconds clear of typical F1. Placky is 5.7 seconds clear of typical from him. But now Leeson, now is he going to be close enough to send it on typical heading down into turn 3? He doesn't seem like he's making the inroads he needs to make to try and go for a move anytime soon. He's really starting to close in. You can see how much he's pushing the car through these corners to try and get a slight edge over typical and gain on him a huge snap of oversteer on the exit of turn 4 there. And now heading into the right hand at the end of sector 1. He's 3.5 tenths off in his lap time. You can see his mediums are starting to come alive slightly. Placky also isn't losing too much time into pole now. So this could be where the mediums start to come alive in this Grand Prix. So now Evan 7 tenths separates him and Elise, and he's going to be trying to gain as much as possible in the following few laps to try again opportunity to overtake him and make the move for P4 and obviously charge on in a pursuit to get a podium in this race. Placky now, he's starting to hold on to this gap. Sam Cole is going to start pitting soon. We're going to have to watch out for that because Placky is now, he's going to go for the undercut actually here on lap 6. He's going to pit for the softs here. And this is going to be a risky strategy, but it might work out for him. Typical now is up into P2. Elise stays out as well. So Placky is absolutely risked it. And this is going to have to be some mega 9 laps of racing for him to hang on to these tyres and win this Grand Prix. Edgars has gone for the same strategy here. And he's bolted on a set of soft compound tyres to the end of this race. He has gotten out of that DRS train though, which is something that he would need, and something that Placky would definitely need is a 3-second time penalty for Sam Cole, which he has just received at the end of sector 1, and that has brought Placky right into play for this Grand Prix. Now Sam Cole is going to have to box this lap because he needs to hold off this undercut threat from Placky, but he's also got that 3-second time penalty now. So this is going to hinder his race a lot, considering that this is a 15-lap sprint to the finish essentially. As Alicia now is really starting to close in on typical. Now is he going to be close enough to go for a move into Ascari? No, he's not. 5 tenths separates him and the Ferrari driver. Sam Cole is coming into the pits now, and he's got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. This seems like the pressure is coming to him, and he's now got 8 seconds of time penalties. Elysian is coming into the pits now. He's met the pit requirement, and typical F1. FLT Evan has a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pits as well. Typical F1 stays out. We're now going to have to see where Placky comes out relative to Sam Cole. Sam Cole does have those penalties though, so that is going to play a huge part in this race. Heading through turn 2 now goes Sam Cole, and now turn 1, now turn 2 for Placky. Placky is currently leading this Grand Prix on penalties and strategically. Elisa now, it's looking like he's in a very good position in P4. Evan as well in P5. AZX Flames, one of the only drivers without a penalty in P6, and P7 occupied by FRT Edgars. In through the fast left-right chicane, picks up both of the apexes pretty nicely now. Sam Cole is really starting to try and push, but Placky just has really good pace on these softs right now, and he is going to be gaining naturally with a faster, softer tire. Typical F1 is coming into the pits. He is going to be making his one and only stop of this Grand Prix weekend. Bolts on the set of soft compound tires. So Edgars sets a fast lap of the Grand Prix at 23.4 from him there. Solid lap. Purple sector 1 for FRA Placky. You can see he's really confident on these soft compound tires. And it seems like the race is pretty much his. He's got nothing much else he needs to do. To just catch up to Sam Cole and make that move, just in case he does get his penalties removed off his finishing time. And Edgar's gets a 3-second time penalty. We caught that on stream. That was a pretty huge corner cut there. At turn 12, he's got a 3-second time penalty for that track limits infringement. So now going back on board, AZX Flames, he's really starting to close in onto the back of Evan. The purple lap, fastest lap for FRA Placky, 23.0, which is a pretty solid lap time. 5/10 separates Flames and Evan. Is he going to be close enough? Heading down into turn 1, it doesn't seem like he is just yet, but now Flames knows that Evan is slightly low on the ERC. You can see the red light flashing, you can see he's harvesting. Evan's going to defend the inside, but that's not going to stop Flames from going to the outside. He's going to try and make the move stick, going around the outside. He runs slightly wide, and he's not got the grip to stick it around the outside, and he has lost the place. Evan lives to fight another day, and he stays in P5. As Edgars gets a 3-second time penalty for another corner cutting infringement, and yeah, that's really overdoing the limit here. You can see Typical is closing in onto the back of Aleeson. It's the fight for P3 in this race, the fight for a podium. So the two drivers are separated by 3/10 heading down into turn 1. Is Typical going to be close enough? This first time round, he's not going to be close enough to send it, but he is going to have the DRS for the second straight. He's burning his ERS already. He has got less than Aleeson. He's going to carry on burning. He's going to use his DRS to his advantage. He's going to try round the outside like his teammate did last lap, and he's going to make the move stick. They're going to bang wheels slightly headed through turn 4. He's forced him wide and made the move stick. As we say that, Aleeson holds on to, Evan makes the move on AZX Flames for P6, and now Typical is up into a podium place, but that was a bit of dirty driving. He forced Aleeson right off the track to get the position there, but Aleeson manages to avoid the incident and seems to be pretty safe. But these two need to work together, as Typical now, he can potentially get P2 in this race if he can get through within that 8-second gap of Sam Cole. If he just doesn't have the luck on his side, he could potentially get P2 in this race, but as it stands, it doesn't seem likely for him. AZX Flames now closing on the back of Evan. Is this going to be round 2 or round 3 even of their battle now? He's going to be all over the back of his tail, deploying the DRS. He's not going to deploy his ERS just yet though. Evan now, he's using his ERS in defense. He's going to go to the inside. He's not going to be close enough just yet. Evan holds on to P5, but now he's got the ERS advantage. That's a huge snap of oversteer, and AZX Flames is out of the race. He's crashed at the exit of turn 2. He went on the power too early. He deployed the ERS too early and deployed the DRS too early. He's lost the rear end and he is out of the Grand Prix. Edgars has got another 3-second time penalty, and that is essentially just wrapped up the race. Evan is in P5 and will most likely hang on to P5. Just need to check on the penalty situation. But yeah, he will hang on to P5 and the order will stay the same as it is currently. So, moving back onto this front battle, 2 laps to remain in this Grand Prix once they cross the line, and seems like Placky has this win in the bag on penalties. Sam Cole has done everything he's needed to, everything he can in his power, but his penalties are just gonna be too much for him to handle. And with that speed in the pit lane, that was the nail in the coffin. He could have won if it was only the time penalty, but the speeding in the pits, that's just unfortunate for him, and that most likely will not get removed unless if someone bumped him going into the pits, and that is his only justifiable reason. FRT Edgars comes into the pits. He's either going to retire or just go for fast lap. He will get the fast lap point as he is P6. Pretty much just finishing the race last, but in the top 6. It shows summarizes this entire race. Typical F1 gets a 3-second time penalty, which now entices this battle between Elisen and Typical, because Elisen can now get a podium, in fact, in this Grand Prix. He is going to have one more go now. You can see he's getting confident. He's burning his ERS. He knows what is at stake now. He knows that there's no point in him holding back now. He's going to deploy his DRS now. He's going to start gaining. He's not going to gain enough. He's going to have one more chance heading down into turn 3 now. He's going to really have to push in this final sector. Sam Cole will cross the line to start his final lap. Now 7/10 separates Elisen and Typical. Typical now knows he has to push. He knows that Elisen's going to be all over that podium. Now he's going to deploy the DRS. Elisen, he's going to start gaining. He's deploying his DRS really early. He's trying to gain as much as possible. Heading down into turn 1. Late on the brakes. He's not close enough for round 1. Typical now. He's going to hold on as it stands right now. 4.5 tenths separates the two. Is Elisen going to be close enough for ascend? No, he's not. He's going to really gain in the braking zone, though. And now they're only separated by 3 tenths heading through the end of sector 1. He's lost a bit slightly on the exit, though, so he might have to do a lot more to try and make a move on the 3rd DRS straight. And that will be his final overtaking opportunity, because there's not many in the final sector that he can maximize. Now closing in on him, heading down into the heavy braking right-hander. He's not going to be close enough to make much inroads. 5 tenths still separates them on this final lap, and it just seems out of reach at this point. He's on 1% ERS. You can see how much he's pushing, and Typical with a huge slide on the exit of that left-right chicane. You can see he's struggling. You can see he's really pushing to keep that Ferrari on the track, but it's gonna be enough for him to hold on in front. Sam Cole has done everything he could today. He is gonna win on track, but it's FRA Placky who takes the season opener here in Australia, and he wins the first round of the season. Typical F1 comes in with a momentous podium in P3, and Elisen in P4 with a really close finish towards the end. Evan in P5, and Will Edgars get the fastest lap that he attempted to get as he heads through Ascari. He probably would, if he had the time to. I believe he did. Heading around the penultimate now, final corner. He's gone slightly deep, so he might have missed this fast lap attempt up here. Gonna burn his DRS across the line, and he has got it. I think he has got it. It was a low 23 that was needed to salvage the fastest lap, but yeah, I don't really feel like that race is just crazy. I'm not sure who my driver of the day is. Definitely pretty debatable right now, but yeah, so Placky wins the first race of the season here in Australia. P2 taken by Sam Cole. P3 taken by Typical F1. FRE Elisen in P4. P5 taken by FRT Evan. P6 FRT Edgars. Was it Edgars? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, FRT Edgars. P7 AZX Flames. P9 PSR Mac. P8 PSR Mac. And P9 Rev Caterpillar. And that is all we have time for this week of racing. And well, not this week of racing. We've got a race tomorrow, so make sure to tune in for the first round of Tier 2. The first round of Tier 3 as well on Saturday afternoon, sorry. Um, and also the first round of Tier 4 and Tier 5. So make sure to stay tuned and enjoy your weekend for races, for more races here from ABS. That has been me, MM Overdrive, and have a wonderful evening and peace out.